Hey everyone, this is Hafizullah Masoudi and you're watching from Code with Hafiz. I welcome you to this third video of the series in which we will discuss HTML attributes, headings, paragraphs, and styles in depth. So first of all, what are HTML attributes? Well, HTML attributes provide additional information about HTML elements or tags, and HTML or all HTML elements can have attributes, and these attributes will hold additional information about that specific HTML element. Now, attributes can be specified always in the starting tag and usually come in name and value pairs. For example, first we need to declare the name of the attribute and then its value. Now suppose we have an anchor tag, so let's get back to our text editor, and to create an anchor tag, well, let's remove all of these elements for now, so I will remove them. Now to create an anchor tag, we can use the A tag, and anchor tags are called hyperlinks, so let's create one. So let's say A tag, and let's close the tag, and this A tag or anchor tag can have an href attribute which defines the URL of the page that this hyperlink goes to. So let's say href, and this href is the attribute itself, and then it will hold a value. So let's declare a link for it. So https://www.google.com, and for inside the tag we need to declare the text for the tag. So let's say go to Google. Now let's save this. Let's get back to our browser, and if we refresh, now you can see we have this link, and if I click on it, now you see it is loading the google.com. So let's get back to our project tab, and of course you will learn more about anchor tags and hyperlinks in the upcoming videos, but for now just know what are attributes and how to declare an attribute. To give another example, let's declare another tag, and that is the image tag. So let's get back to our text editor, and in here what we can do is let's press enter, and let's say img, and this tag holds another attribute which is src, and it stands for source. Now for this tag, or for the source of the image, we need images or an image. So what I will do is get back to my terminal, and I will copy some images to the project directory. So in here what I will do is first of all create a directory for the images. So make dir, and let's name it images, and now I will copy some images from my pictures folder. So for that I will say cp home my user, and then pictures, wallpapers, and I will copy all the images to home, and then my user, and then desktop, and then HTML projects and images. Now if I ll the images, now you can see we have these images. So let's get back to our text editor, and now we can use images slash, let's say we want the first image, so jpg. Now let's save this and get back to web browser, and now you can see it is loading our image. Now for the image tag we can have some other attributes also. So let's get back to text editor, and let's declare a width for it, and let's say the width should be 500, and we can declare a height also. Now the value of the width and height are declared in pixels, so keep that in mind. So let's say 600. Let's save this, get back to browser, and if you refresh now you can see it has its width and height has been decreased. Now to give another example, we can have another attribute for the image tag, and it's a useful attribute because it will specify an alternative text for an image, and that is the alt attribute. And if the image for some reason cannot be displayed, which could be due to slow internet connection or an error in the source attribute, or a user may use a screen reader, so the alternative text will be shown instead. So let's get back to text editor, and to show you this one, we can declare the alt attribute which will have a value, and let's say example image, and let's for now create some error in the source. So I will say 12.jpg, and if we get back to the browser, refresh, now you can see it's showing the example image text value. Now another useful attribute that we have in HTML is styles attribute or style attribute, which is used to add styles to elements such as color, font, size, and many more. So let's get back to text editor, and in here first of all let's remove these tags. So I will remove them, and what we can do is create a paragraph. So p tag, and inside here let's say this is a paragraph, and for the starting tag of paragraph, what we can do is declare style, and let's give this paragraph a color of red. So let's say color colon red, and then semicolon. Now let's get back to browser, refresh, and now you can see the paragraph is colored red. Next up we have another useful attribute, which is the lang attribute, and it stands for language. And note that this attribute should always be included inside the HTML tag to declare the language of the web page. So this attribute is meant to assist the search engines and browsers to find our website. So let's get back to text editor, and what we can do is declare the lang attribute in this HTML starting tag. So let's say lang, which should equal to, and then it will take the code of the language. So for example, for English we can declare EN, and if you wanna declare the country also, you can give an hyphen, and then we can say US for United States. So let's get back to browser, and if we refresh now, well, you won't see any changes, but it is useful to use a lang attribute, as I told you, to assist the search engines and browsers to find our website. Now to declare another useful attribute, we have a title attribute also, which could be useful to use, and you can use it as for your tool tips. So let's get back to the text editor, and let's declare a title for the paragraph. So let's say title, and if for the value let's say example paragraph. Now let's save this, and if we get back to the browser, refresh, and now if I mouse over the paragraph, now you can see it's showing example paragraph. Now always remember to use lowercase attributes, because that's what the W3C recommends for stricter document types like XHTML. Now don't worry about this, just know for now that to use lowercase attributes always. And also note that to use always quotes for the attribute values, and you can use double quotes and single quotes both, but double quotes around the attribute values are the most common in HTML. Now the next thing that we want to discuss are headings. So I already have told you in the previous video that we can have 6 levels of headings using HTML tags or elements, and to declare them, let's get back to text editor, and what I will do is remove the paragraph, or let's just leave it. So let's say h1, and it should have a closing tag, and what we can do is copy this and paste it a couple of times. Now this one is, let's say number 2, this one is number 2, 3, 3, and this one should be 4. Let's say 4, this one is 5, and this one is 6. Now let's give them some text. So let's say first heading, let's say second heading, and let's say third heading, let's say 4th heading, and let's say 5th heading, and let's say 6th heading. Now if we save this, get back to the browser, and if I refresh, now you can see we have our headings. Now headings are very important because search engines use the headings to index the structure and the content of your web page, and users often skim a page by its headings, so they are pretty important, and always try to use headings in your web page. Now please note that you must not use headings to make the text bigger or bold. Only use HTML headings for headings. Now if you wanna make the heading or a heading bigger, more than its usual size, you can use the style attribute on them. So let's get back to the text editor, and what we can do is, for example, for this first heading we can declare a style attribute, and then we can use font size. So let's say font hyphen size, and let's say it should be 60 pixels. Now if we save this, get back to the browser, and if we refresh now you can see we have a bigger heading. Now that was everything about headings, so let's talk next about the paragraphs now. Well, a paragraph always starts on a new line and is usually a block of text, and you already know that the p tag defines a paragraph. Now when we use HTML headings and HTML paragraphs, note that the browser automatically adds some white space or a margin before and after the content. Now let's create some other paragraphs. So let's go to the text editor, and in here let's say p tag, and let's say this is another paragraph, and let's create another one, so p tag, and let's close it, and in here let's say this is a third paragraph. Now you cannot be sure how HTML will be displayed because large or small screens and resized windows will create different results, and with HTML you cannot change the display by adding extra spaces or extra lines, for example in your HTML code. Now the browsers will automatically remove any extra spaces or lines when the page is displayed. So for example, for this third paragraph, let's declare some enters or line breaks, and let's create some other paragraphs too. So let's say this paragraph contains, let's say, a lot of lines, and let's say some more text. Now what do you think, how will it be displayed? Now let's go to the browser, and if I refresh, you can see we still have a one-line paragraph. Now suppose you have a poem and you wanna display the poem line by line after each other. Now you cannot use a paragraph, but instead, to solve this problem, we have another tag for it, which is the pre tag. So let's use it, and it stands for preformatted text. So now if we go to the browser and if we refresh now you can see we have our poem or our text like poem. Now next up, if you wanna put some horizontal lines, so you can use another tag which is HR. So let's put some horizontal line in here, so HR tag, and note that this tag is an empty tag, and it means that it does not hold any content. So let's put another one in here, and let's put another one in here. So if we save it now, get back to the browser, refresh, you can see now we have our beautiful horizontal lines. Now you can use the horizontal lines to separate the content in an HTML page. Now finally, let's talk about some styles, and then we are done for today. So HTML style attribute is used to add styles to an element, as I told you earlier. such as color, font size, and many more. Now for this attribute we declare a CSS property and then its value. Don't worry about CSS for now. We will discuss CSS later in this course, but for now just work on some basic style attribute properties. For example, let's give some background color to the body or the body tag. So let's get back to the text editor, and what we can do is for the body, let's say style, we should equal to background, let's say background hyphen color, and let's declare it powder blue. Now if we save it, get back to the browser, refresh, now you can see we have a powder blue background. Now we can declare the background color to other HTML elements also. For example, if we give this paragraph a background color, so let's say background hyphen color, and let's make it, for example, a green. And if we go to the browser now, or before that, let's also give this h1 a background color. So let's say background hyphen color, and let's make this one yellow. Now let's save this, get back to the browser, refresh. Now you can see they are also having background color. Now next up we can declare the text color also, and for that we can use the color CSS property. So let's get back to the text editor and let's give this paragraph some color. So let's say style should equal to color, and for this one let's say green. And if you go to the browser, refresh, now you can see the paragraph is green. Now next up we can use font families. So let's get back to text editor and let's give some font family to this pre tag. So let's say style equals to font hyphen family, and let's use, for example, a font that we have by the name of Verdana. And if I save it now, get back to the browser, if I refresh now you can see its fonts has been changed. Now you already know about the font size, so if I show you another example, let's give this pre-tag some font size. So let's say font hyphen size, and I already told you that you can use pixels, but you can also use percentage. So let's say for this one we want 300%, and if I save it now, get back to the browser, refresh. Now the next thing that we have, or I want to show you for the style attribute, is aligning this text to center. So to do that, let's get back to text editor and let's align center this pre tag. So let's say text hyphen align, and we want to make it center. Now let's save this, get back to the browser, refresh, and now you can see it's being centered. Well, it's not actually centered because of the white space that we have in here. So let's make this paragraph center to see its actual effect. So let's get back to text editor, and for this paragraph tag, let's say text hyphen align, and let's say center. And if we save it now, get back to the browser, refresh, now you can see it's being aligned to the center. Now this was everything about HTML attributes, headings, paragraphs, and styles, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. And if so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a nice comment also. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe too if you want more videos like this. Now thanks for watching, see ya in the next video.